Is MTS to blame for the death of a man who was put in a chokehold and strangled while riding a bus back in 2022? That's the question in front of a jury. It's our top story on the 4. Hi, I'm Anna Laurel.
I'm Carlo Cicchetto. CBS 8's Kelly Hessedal joins us live from the Hall of Justice. And Kelly, I understand closing arguments wrapped up just this afternoon, right?
That's right. Closing arguments wrapped up around 2 o'clock. So the jury spent about 2 hours deliberating before going home for the evening. But I can tell you guys, it was an emotional afternoon in the courtroom. I was seated right behind Anthony McGaff's parents. I can tell you his mother was crying as the attorney representing them talked about how their son must have suffered in the last moments of his life. So here's some of what we heard during closing.
You heard from the medical examiner 4 to 5 minutes of constant pressure needed to cause death. From that, you could take that Anthony had time, someone would have helped. Obviously, if she stops at the first exit before this begins, none of this would have happened.
And the attorney representing Anthony McGaff's family argues if the bus driver had just pulled over at the first sign of trouble, none of this ever would have happened, and McGaff would still be alive today. He showed photos of McGaff up on the screen as a child, talked about how close he was with his parents, how, yes, he had made mistakes in his life, but that he didn't deserve to die on the floor of a bus. Now, during the trial, the jury saw surveillance video of this fight that led to all of this back in April of 2022. The plaintiffs say a woman was filming McGaff with her cell phone. He got upset, other passengers got involved and restrained McGaff with a belt. Another man put him in a chokehold. The plaintiffs allege the bus driver didn't do what she was supposed to. She didn't pull over immediately, that she wasn't trained properly. And because of all that, McGaff died. Now, defense attorneys pushed back and said the bus driver did follow their 7-step policy. She pulled over when she could do so safely and, in fact, should be commended for how she handled the situation. He also said this.
Why is MTS the only defendant in this courtroom today? Because it happened on our bus? That doesn't create liability. It's been said, or it's been referred to, that this is a money grab. Also heard that it's picking the pockets of a public entity. And you know, frankly, after watching the parade of lawyers coming in here for the past week, there may be some truth to that.
And the plaintiffs addressed that statement during the rebuttal, basically saying, well, the family is only going for money now because that is all the system allows them to do in order to hold MTS accountable. Now, I should point out criminal charges were filed against one of the passengers who intervened. He pleaded guilty to involuntary manslaughter and was sentenced to probation back in 2023. Carlo and Anna.
So, Kelly, what was the mood like in the courtroom as the case wrapped up? What sort of sense did you get from the jury, and did the family have any comment today?
I can tell you the mood was very tense inside the courtroom. Again, it was emotional. The jury was extremely attentive. It appeared that they were hanging on the attorney's words during closing arguments as well as the rebuttal, listening to everything very closely. As for the family, I did catch up with the father after court, and he told me he is feeling very nervous.
Can only understand those feelings. Kelly Hessedal reporting for us live. Thanks, Kelly.